So BTC is holding the 65k level, but these altcoins are feeling some proper burn. I'm looking at banter bubbles here. It's a mess. So guys, if you're feeling a little bit bearish, you have every right to feel bearish. Some of these things are setting up quite badly, but do we get a short-term bounce now in the interim? What is going to be my game plan? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm playing BTC, exactly how I'm playing some of these alts, and I've opened up 2 longs that I think we could get a short-term bounce in here. So we've got a lot to talk about. It's Monday. Let's get right into this. And don't forget, as always, if you are enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell button, and keep Uncle Ray happy there in the background. Look at this banter bubbles. It's horrific. I actually can't deal with what I'm seeing at the moment. Injective, the pain doesn't stop. Were you caught in an injective long? I was caught in an injective long. This thing has been a deep burn. I'm going to give you a full injective plan as well today. Look at Floki, 11%. Fetch is down 9%. Basically, everything you're looking at is an absolute mess, but fuck me. Look at the bottom right-hand side. XRP is 5% up. I'm sure there's some XRP guys here sitting in the crowd that are going to be enjoying that, Ray. I don't know, bro. Woo, XRP, let's go. Maybe sometimes a bit of a bearish sign if we see XRP pumping. So guys, let's just watch carefully with how this is going to play out. Notcoin finally seeing a little bit of downside as well, 10%, and ZK, I believe there was a launch now or something along those lines, and that's taking a bit of a heat, but I think long term there could be a bit of a play there. But let's look at the damage. Let's see what these guys are currently doing to us at the moment. And we had a bit of a meltdown earlier today, and I see 𝗏𝗚𝗚𝗏 says XRP to the moon. I agree. Okay, so you can see where we are here. This is BTC on the 4-hour. And the 65k number, that is a big number. We've just pinged a little double bottom here. So this is your first line that you're going to be watching today. 65,000 on the button. This is going to be your first support marker that you're going to watch. But what I am very interested in is a little bit lower down. I've got a nice thick little region here at 64,500. So for me, this is a big zone. I'd love to see this zone tapped, and I'd love to see this zone tapped with a little bit of dominance, just staying flat, maybe drifting a little bit lower. So perfect world, we get a push down into this region and a nice little bounce. So 64,500 feels like a safe zone. It feels nice and comfortable here for me. Then a little bit lower, I've mapped out another level that I'm watching very closely, 63,500. That has to be the next one. If we don't hold the 64.5, I can't see us sitting around in the middle of this. I'd like to see this whole candle get taken out over here, and 63.5 is where it's at for me. So those are the big downside levels you need to pay attention to. And then any strength that you see today, your first stop has got to be 65,800. That's a big zone here ahead of us, 65,800, and even a push into the 50-day MA, just a little bit above that at the 60k region. So watch that. If we do reclaim this area, then we can potentially start being a little bit more bullish on the current situation. So right now, let's reclaim that 65,800. Then we'll figure out from there how it's going to play out. Perhaps if we do reclaim it during the show, then we can start mapping out a couple of ideas. But right now, for me, any weakness here on BTC, I want to see these alts hold some of their big levels that they are sitting on at the moment. And that could be a nice little trigger. So if you guys are feeling a little bit of heat on those altcoins, stick around. I've got tons of coins for you. I've got updates on so many tokens here, and some of them are sitting in some very juicy areas that we can't be ignoring right now. So hang around. We're going to cover a lot of those shortly. Okay, let's get into some of the action, some of the news and things like that. And I just found an interesting tweet here from Byzantine General. He says maybe a silly parallel to draw, but I find it interesting that in TradFi, the small caps are underperforming the SPX this year, and in crypto, the altcoins are underperforming BTC. So take a look at this chart that he's given us, and just interesting note, it's happening in traditional finance as well, that these smaller caps are not doing much, but the big dogs are really running. But at some point, remember, there is always a catch-up, and these things do eventually come and tie into one another. So it's just a matter of time, and we just need to let things play out. And then James van Straten says how he currently sees it 33 days into BTC minor capitulation, with the average duration over the past 5 years being 41 days. Okay, miners' addresses collectively hold a treasury of 700,000 BTC, and their balance has decreased by 30,000 BTC since October. So these guys are busy selling as we go. And he's saying, despite this, the hash rate has only decreased by 12% from its peak as unprofitable miners continue to sell Bitcoin to sustain operations. Remember, these guys, to make profits, they got to offload some of their BTC, and if they're not making money, they start offloading these things, and that also puts a little bit of extra pressure on some of the prices there. Titan of Crypto, he's got an interesting one here. He's pulled out the 2-month chart. Now we're really getting desperados here, where we start pulling out 2-month chart to give some kind of bullish sentiment here. But Titan of Crypto, he says many are now pointing the 2-monthly chart shooting star. Okay, so what he's got here is a shooting star, which he mentioned 6 weeks ago. Apparently, he says the 3-month chart is as relevant, and the candle doesn't look that bad, in my opinion. As you may know, the higher the time frame, the more relevant it is. Okay, so basically, he's just giving you a nice chart saying chill. Okay, if you're looking at on the bigger picture, you got nothing to worry about here. Here's your support, 58,800. That is what you're going to be watching, and anything else is just noise. So the spot traders, you guys are happy. You guys are relaxed, because these levels, they're making sense. Everything is playing out accordingly. It's the leverage traders and those type of things where we're feeling a little bit of heat here, and we've really got to watch these levels a lot closer. 𝗏𝗡𝗍𝗍 just gave us an interesting note on US sentiment, and just the point I wanted to give you guys was 41% of Americans believe that stock prices will be higher in 12 months. But look at the current S&P. I can't actually deal with this. We're about to print all-time high again. We're at 5,440 now and starting to push a little bit higher. So with that in mind, on the S&P, I'm still sitting in an S&P long from quite a while ago. I managed to only get one buy-in at the time, but this is my long on Prime XBT at the moment, and I've now tentatively entered a second position in case we get a breakout. So you can see this little chart here on Prime XBT. It's the 1-hour chart on the S&P 500, and you can see we've got a sort of an inverse head and shoulders potentially playing out here at the moment, and I've tentatively grabbed another one in case we get a breakout here, in case we get a little push. So if you want to trade this with me on Prime XBT, there is a link in the description. You can trade crypto and all those things, and then you can trade the S&P, gold, silver, oil, and all those other ones, including Forex on Prime XBT. So jump on there with me. There is a link in the description and a 7% sign-up bonus for you guys. Now, we're going to get into these altcoins, and I just wanted to show you something amazing or something pretty interesting here. This is the CoinGlass market RSI heat map. Now, some of you guys would have seen this floating around, but this is a free thing that you can access anytime. And I see Michael says, are we going to get rinsed further is the question. Michael, we might get a bounce here. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting to my story. I'm getting there. Okay, look at this crypto RSI heat map. This is the 4-hour. And this is basically telling you which tokens are oversold and which tokens are overbought. And quite often we get a reversal when we see these tokens in the oversold region. Now I'm going to click on the 12-hour as well. I just want to see what the 12-hour is telling us. And look how oversold these altcoins are. So if you are feeling pretty rinsed out at the moment, if you are feeling a deep burn, it's basically because we've had about 10 days of bleed out on these altcoins, and it seems almost relentless at the moment, but the bottom is near, according to this RSI heat map. And if we use this, if we back test this, we can see quite often by the time we get to these levels, we often get a reversal. It might just be a short-term reversal or something along those lines, but the point remains that there could be some kind of bounce here in the short term. So keep your eyes on this guy. And then our liquidation heat map for BTC, just a little note, I love to watch this one. Obviously, this is the BTC one-day liquidation map. This is all exchanges, and you can see right now the shorts are actually overwhelming some of the longs here. And if we do get a little push higher, you can see we've got levels here up to about 67, 68K. Could be a nice little area here for a push. And if they do want to send us lower, that's going to ping the 63,500 that I was telling you guys about a little bit earlier. So just some notable things here, but I am enjoying the fact that the shorts are actually overwhelming the longs at the moment, and it could mean that we get some kind of push a little bit higher here as we go. Okay, so BTC holding 65. We're going to watch that now as we progress through the day. And then another one you need to keep your eyes on here, guys, dominance. And this is dominance on the 12-hour, and no real changes from last week. We had a nice little rejection here on the dominance. And, if this was pumping harder, these altcoins would have been absolutely decimated. If you think you haven't been decimated now, we would have had some kind of major capitulation there. So right now for dominance, we've got to watch this 55.7%. This is a big area for us. We're watching this. Any rejection here is gladly received for the altcoin traders. And if we do get this break, then you need to then if we do get this break here, then we need to really watch out. We're going to batten down the hatches because some of these altcoins are going to be looking at deep and dark places. So we're going to get into that now. And well, before I jump into that, let's just see who is in the chat here. I want to see how you guys are feeling. And I did do a sentiment check here earlier as well. I just wanted to check the poll here. But I see Moneyprint is telling us XRP is fire. And Fahad says we're fucked, sell everything. And Ferdy says, greetings. Steve Wallace says he needs opium. How about some opium? Can we just deal with some opium? Michael says deep fuckery. I agree. It's been pretty messy, but after all these sell-offs, we always get these areas, guys. So I'm going to cover you with some great zones here, and maybe we're going to get a little bounce. Maybe we're going to get a little bit of fun here before they come and try and end us any further. Okay, so the first chart I wanted to show you, and this is a picture that we are getting all over the place. Okay, I picked this up on IMX last week when I was doing a chart for the daily candle, which is the newsletter that shoots around from Crypto Banter. I'm sure there is a link for that one as well. It's a daily newsletter. You get trade setups and things like that. And on Fridays, the Sniper Club sends out a couple of charts. And IMX was started this whole thing for me. And now I see RUNE has also got a very similar look to it. So I wanted to start out with RUNE here on the weekly. And for those of you that have been trading charts for a while, you know exactly what we're looking at here. We're looking at a head and shoulders. And that is typically quite a bearish little setup. It's not something you really get all warm and fuzzy when you see these things starting to form. So the reality of the matter is here that RUNE has got this bearish head and shoulders. And if this thing is going to start playing out, your next potential zone here for RUNE that you're watching on the weekly has got to be about 3. There's 3 regions. So that is the hard reality. The hard facts are 3 could be coming into play for RUNE. But how do we get there? Do they capitulate us now in one shot and then we deal with it later? Or do they bounce us off this nice juicy weekly level that you can see is happening right here? This is a major weekly level. Look at this. Look how many touches we get in these areas in this region. So currently we are sitting at around about 4.3. This is a potential bouncer. We've seen all these oversold RSIs and things like that. Do we get a short-term bounce? Is it a 3% bounce? Is it a 5%? Something along these lines? Or are these market makers and whales just going to come and absolutely rinse us? So these are the questions I'm obviously asking myself at the moment. And I like to play solid zones, as you guys know. And that is why I've tentatively entered into 1 or 2 long positions. And I'm going to talk to you guys about them a little bit later on. But here's big level number 1 to watch. And lower down, if this starts playing out, RUNE traders, you've got to bring 3 into the equation here. This is where you're going to have your stink bid. This is where you're going to have your limit order set, where in the dead of the night, if they come and send this down, that is a most likely area where you are going to get a candle to wick into that zone. So look out for these areas. 3 to 3.2, anywhere there for RUNE is coming into play if this head and shoulders is going to play out. But remember, this is a weekly chart, so that doesn't always mean it's a straight line down, and we could quite often get quite a nice little bounce, and we won't necessarily turn bullish. So even if we get a little push higher here, a few percent, they could then easily come and send us back lower down. So anything that bounces here, guys, what I want to say to you, if we get a bounce here, you're playing this with caution. You're looking for TPs nice and early. You're looking for tight stops. You're doing those type of things. You really need to play this game now very smartly here. And here is IMX. This was the one that we picked up last week. And this head and shoulders is now playing out. So you can see it's lost its first support level. And this was the 1.68 level. So this zone here is now a bit of an issue for us. This is going to be resistance that's going to be playing out. So keep your eyes now on 1.68. This is your new resistance zone, and your new or your first bounce target that I'm watching now on IMX, and this could take a while to play out, is got to be 1.26, 1.27. And anywhere in that region, that is where we're looking for a potential bounce, and that is where we could get a wick. So both of these zones, even a little bit lower down, and I mean, we don't really want to go there. 0.84 to 0.85. It's dark, it's deadly, it's we're not going to be enjoying life, put it that way, if we get IMX down there. But it's something we got to take note of. So we've lost our first level. IMX, big level here, 1.24, 1.25, somewhere there we are looking at. If this thing's going to play out fully, there's going to be a little burn in the house there. Ray, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about this head and shoulders situation? It's
looking juicy. It's definitely juicy.
Juicy to the downside.
Must open the short. Yes, you must open a short.
Sao says he feels dark, and Herman says he's feeling cuck. In South Africa, that's not a good feeling to feel cuck. I can tell you that much. What else have we got? Somebody says the bottom's in, and guys, we're gonna look. What else we got here? We got somebody here from Ghana. Hello, Crypto Cloud from Ghana. And Pickle is late but present. Look, you made it. That's the important thing. I've got another bearish chart for you guys. And it's AVAX also hanging on to its last thread here on the weekly. So you can see what's going on. It's not a perfect head and shoulders, but it is a head and shoulders nonetheless. We do have some kind of setup here. So we are looking a little bit sad here for AVAX at the moment. We do have one final level that AVAX could potentially wick at and potentially bounce and maybe just cancel the bear party at the moment. And that has got to be 27.2. So watch 27.2. If we do get a little wick from BTC, maybe just onto that 64,500, we might see AVAX here, 27.2. Then we're looking for our bounce. If we lose that area, guys, the facts remain 20, 21. That is an area now. The reality of the situation is 21 could come into play here for you. Be ready for it. Be prepared. And you want to maybe have some stink bids in that area as well. And that could give you a little wick. And just like in April, when we had that dump, we had that wick. Look at that nice massive move we had up after that. If we do get a capitulation here, we should get a nice little wick higher. And that should give you some kind of scalp trade as well if we dip into that zone. So watching this one closely as well. But bear in mind, we've got oversold country on a lot of these indicators, and one of them that I like to use is the normal RSI as well. And let's just pull this up just to give you guys a guide as to where we are, and let's see where the daily is sitting currently. You can see that daily is pretty much bottomed out at the moment, and the last time we had that daily at these levels, what happened? We had a big bounce this was in April. And let's look at the 8 hour. Let's just pull that as an example. And we are deep and dark here. This is 27 on the RSI. So this thing is really oversold here at the moment. So any type of short-term bounce could be happening before they send us lower. So both scenarios are still in play here on AVAX. Okay, now let's see. Brandon says 129 days from halving will push, like the charts say in the past. Okay, let's see. I see Princess Beardman is on, baby. What else we got? Dan Ludwig says, yeah, he's close to selling his AVAX. Yeah, so Dan, just play it accordingly. Okay, you can see these levels here, maybe a little bounce in the near term. Look out at 27.2. If we don't bounce there, there's a very good chance they're going to bleed us to 2021. So play it safe. You've got the levels, you've got the areas. Now, before we get into some of these long setups, I wanted to deal with ETH again, because don't forget, we are around the corner from this ETH ETF going live, and Eric tells us this is on the 2nd of July. So now we are getting incredibly close. And, if people start trading into this ETH ETF opening, we know that's going to be super bullish for the market. And there's been signs out there at the moment that ETH is performing, and ETH versus BTC is also looking pretty good. So I'm going to show you that chart at the moment. So remember, we are approximately 2 weeks away from this ETH ETF going live. I would assume there's going to be a trade into that, and there's going to be some kind of move into that. And micro to macro says ETH is not experiencing bearish price action on the monthly time frame. Okay, so his monthly chart is looking nice and bullish. He's reminding you guys what's going on. And Byzantine General says the CME futures open interest is skyrocketing again on ETH. Okay, so things are turning again for ETH. Things are starting to look a little bit interesting. And then as far as ETH BTC is concerned, you guys will remember where we got that bounce. We pinged it on a perfect trend here and 618 back then. Now we've pushed up. Now the real key is going to be, is ETH BTC going to hold key support here for us at this 200-day MA and this 382? So for me, ETH BTC strength, anything 0.052 down to 0.0515, anywhere in this region for me is a support zone we're looking to hold, and then we're looking to fire that up. And that actually makes sense to me, considering what is happening with ETH in the next 2 weeks. Maybe this move is now going to play out. We've got all these alts heavily oversold. Are they teeing up for a move into this ETH ETF opening? Maybe it's time that we get some kind of pumpage. And then short-term traders, if you are watching ETH, this is how I'm playing it at the moment. This is ETH on the 8 hour, and you can see what we've got here. We've had BTC earlier today dip down and ping at 618, and subsequently has gone lower, but ETH has been holding the current 618. So for me, a big level for ETH, 3,475. This is a big area that you want to watch. And then lower down, I've got big support here, 3,425. That is a big level here. We've got daily levels tied in here. We've got the 100-day moving average. I've got the 50-day moving average, and I've got a 786 fib. So we know this is a reaction zone. This is a potential support zone that we're going to be watching for ETH. So both of these levels, short-term traders, this could be potential bounce entries for you guys if we do get some kind of bullish move. So ideally, what I would like to see, if Bitcoin is going to bleed lead a little bit further. I'd love to see ETH just push down onto this 100-day MA, 50-day MA, while BTC pushes to that 64.5, and then we get a nice big push out of ETH. So that is what I'm watching for personally, and that is obviously what I'm trying to prep for at the moment. Okay, cool. So what else we got here? I've got a big one here for you, Curve. What is Metalhead telling us here? XRP rocketing up to 51 cents. Guys, let me know in the chat. Do you really want me to look at XRP? I don't know. Okay, let me know. If you guys want me to look at XRP, I'll look at XRP. Let's do the sentiment check quickly. I want to see how you guys are feeling. Geez, you guys don't stop. Hey, you guys don't go away. 44% bulls are in the house. I love the spirit, guys. I love it. And 38% bears and 18% are hating crypto at the moment. Guys, remember, when you're really hating crypto, we often get some great entries. So just hang in there. We're around the corner. Michael says no XRP. OL says, okay, let's do XRP. Global Freak Trader says ICP. Now, that was one I was looking at today for Sniper Club. I actually dropped it in there in Sniper Club today. It's sitting in a massive order block. If it doesn't bounce at this exact area where ICP is right now, I think it's pretty much going to hell. So ICP is in a big zone here that needs to move. Okay, XRP, guys. I see there's a lot of XRP comments here. Okay, we're gonna pull out XRP for you. Let's just deal with the big one as well. So Lido. Now remember, guys, Lido has been dead. Lido has been quiet. Lido has been abused. But we know out of ETH strength, we know we get Lido strength and things like that. And Kingpin Crypto today is just reminding everybody Lido is moving strong. ETH beta season making a comeback. Okay, he's just putting it out there. He's just dropping it out there. And then there's a little bit more information here for you from Look On Chain. They say the smart money spent 328 ETH to buy 40,000 RPLs, and they spent 50 ETH to buy 82,000 Lido, okay, at 2.21. They pretty much bought the top today, basically, at 2.21. But the point is, the guys are here. They're interested in Lido. They're making moves on it. They believe that maybe in the next couple of weeks, there is going to be a move out of Lido. So maybe it's something you need to get on your watch list. And if you want to add this onto your watch list, I'm going to give you some nice areas. So for me, right now, you can see what's going on here with Lido. We've broken the 382. We've broken the 50-day moving average. And it looks like we've now tested this as support. This could be our new support marker for Lido traders. If ETH is going to move, it makes sense to me that Lido is going to start melting faces. So watch. For me, 2.05, watch that area, and then you can watch a little bit lower as well. Under this candle, you want to just watch this wick here at 2.014. So these are support markers that I'm using for Lido. And, we've had a retest here, strong bounce so far. If the market's going to hold, I expect Lido to start outperforming a lot of these other altcoins, especially on the back of ETH BTC strength, especially on the back of ETH strength as well. So Lido, get that one on your watch list. For me, that's a potential play coming. And we've got a nice little trend as well. So if we start pushing higher, what do you know? We're going to pop this trend, and then our retest buy could be a real banger here at 2.2 and back to where those guys bought the top basically of Lido there. So we're going to be watching for something like that. But right now, key support 2 and 2.05. Those are your big zones that you want to be watching. And Moneyprint really wants that bull for the XRP. we can't do that. Okay, let's do XRP before I get into the next one for you guys. Let's just get this one up for old time's sake here. Ooh,
hold on. Before we get into XRP, let's get into the likes, please. Can we please get into the likes? Get
into the likes. Look and listen to Ray. He wants you in the likes. He literally in the computer. You must get into it. Okay. Yes. XRP. Fuck me. If there's any news, Ray, is there any news on XRP at the moment? Let me know why this thing would be pumping, other than exit liquidity or whatever they're trying to do here. Let's get a clean XRP. Let's get the daily out. Let's see what's going on. And okay, very interesting to me. So XRP traders, if there are such people left, if people still trade XRP, let's look for a trend break. Let's see what we got. I can see a little trend situation going on here. Okay, XRP. You do have a trend break. I'll give you that much. Okay. You've got a trend break on XRP. What I don't like is your 50-day MA rejection. Okay. No surprises there. 50-day moving average rejection. And what you want to see, ideally, XRP traders, you want to blow that 50-day MA. So your resistance is 0.514. Watch that area. That is a big resistance band you want to watch. When you start clearing that area, then XRP can get a little bit more interesting. Maybe then you want to pay attention, because this zone is then going to become your support zone. So let's break through through this first. And if we clear this nicely, then you can buy with confidence there on that area. If you're going to back XRP to hold 0.506 has got to be your new support marker that you're going to use. But first things first, break that 50-day MA. If you pop that area, then it's going to get interesting for you. So just be patient here. Let it push through that 50-day. And yeah, let's see how we go. XRP, I'm rooting for you guys. Let's see what else. Michael says it's bad luck for your bags if you don't hit the like button. Guys, I'm also going to show you. I've got an exchange I'm trading with Zoomex, and I'm going to show you a trade I've taken on Zoomex. But I've also discovered they've got a gaming platform on there, and I'm going to play this game for you guys and show you what it's all about. It's actually quite hilarious. It's it's basically like playing the slot machines. Okay, we're going to get there shortly. CRV. Now, we can't ignore this. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm not going to read this whole tweet to you, but if you look lower down, you can see Curve Finance. They posted the highest weekly inflow into CRV locking in years. Okay, 19.76 million. CRV has now flown in. Now, remember, for the last 18 months, there's been so much bearishness with this liquidation level of the founder and this whole situation. People were reluctant to trade CRV. That is now out of the way. Okay, the founder's been liquidated, and he's come back and said he's going to support the whole thing. He's got all these plans, and he's super bullish on CRV again. So CRV is now back in the picture, and we can see now there's activity here, and whales are starting to come in as well. And the data nerd says 1 hour ago, a whale just withdrew 3.9 million CRV from Binance. What did he do with it? He staked it into Convex Finance. Okay, so these guys are now locking up tokens. They're doing these type of things at the moment. Is CRV going to make a massive comeback now that liquidation level is out of the way? So the first thing you're going to do, and we did talk about this one briefly last week, but we need to reclaim some very important levels here. And this is the weekly that we have lost on CRV. So we can't necessarily turn super bullish on CRV until we start reclaiming major weekly support. So right now, we are now in a major weekly resistance zone. What I want to see here, I want CRV to push higher. I really want support here. Anything around about 35, 36 in that region, that is what I'm going to be looking for on CRV. So let's just climb up there first. Let's just reclaim some weekly levels here. But if this thing is going to do what we think it's going to do, you know, this thing, it's something you're going to want on your watch list. Now, Ray was telling me about a sister token here of CRV. What was that token called? What was that token?
That token was CVX.
CVX.
Yeah, CVX, and it's up like 50% today.
What is this? What is the story with this token?
The story is so Convex,
nice
which is CVX. One more time.
Nice drum roll. You gave me a drum roll.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. So Convex allows Curve liquidity providers to earn trading fees and claim boosted CRV without locking CRV themselves. So it's almost like a liquid staking, something similar to that. But it's up 50%.
In the last,
so look for a short.
In the last 2 weeks, this thing is 150% up. Okay. In the last 2 weeks. Okay, so it's telling us that there's something's reviving here. Something's happening here with CRV. Keep it on your watch list. It was a shit coin for so long with this bearishness and the FUD hanging over its head. Is that over now? Is there going to be activity on CRV? Just keep your eyes on this one. And this is CVX, 150% up in 2 weeks. If you are looking at this one, well, you just want to retest the support. You want to make sure that your support holds at 3.4. If you can hold 3.4, you know there'll be some fibs in the mix here as well. 3.4, that's going to be support for you on CVX, and then that could be a bit of a mover there. So watch that one there, guys. Razwiz, I did just cover RUNE for you guys, so take a look. I did cover that at the beginning of the show for you. Okay, here's my first trade setup. This is number one, and for me, this is it's something I couldn't ignore. Okay, I dropped this one in Sniper Club earlier today just to make sure they got that one nice and early. This is NEAR on the 12-hour, and there's multiple reasons here why NEAR looks like it's potentially going to reverse here for me. So number one, we're at the 200-day moving average. Okay, number two, we are kissing the 786 fib. Number three, we are banging on some horizontals here. You can see these horizontals at play here. And number four, we've got the heavily oversold RSI on the 12-hour. We got it on the daily. We got it on the 8-hour. We got on multiple time frames here for NEAR. And I had another one. I think I had a massive order block here. Look at the size of this order block here on Lux Algo. And then on top of that, on the 8-hour, on Lux Algo, 1,000 points. 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 1 I've got 2 X prints at the moment for NEAR, and that is telling me the sellers are finally, or potentially, are the sellers going to be exhausted. So we've had 2 X prints on NEAR at the moment while we are drifting lower. Is it time that we're going to get some kind of move here, even if it's a bounce, even if it's a short-term bounce out of NEAR? Some of the signs are here for us that we might be getting some kind of recovery move here out of NEAR. So what is the strategy? Well, number one, this is probably best played as a very low leverage type trade. And the reason being, the last time we had some kind of recovery on this thing, we did have a giant wick. We had a capitulation in that area here. So option 1 for the traders, okay? Option 1 is a stop loss using about approximately 4% risk from the center of this box. So buying into weakness, and you're looking at about a 4% risk, and your exit zone is going to be a candle close under 4.85. So that's one of them. Option 2, this thing goes now and capitulates down, but they drop a wick and then they pump this thing back up. And that would be more suited for spot traders and things like that. You're looking for some kind of big reaction here after a wick down at about 4.27, 4.28, somewhere in that region. So NEAR is looking interesting to me. And for me, you know, I would buy this thing onto weakness into that box. I wouldn't ape into one position here in the box. I would say this could take a bit of time. So you want to buy maybe a couple of buys into this area, buy into weakness. And, you know, the lower or the deeper your buy is near the bottom of the bounce zone, then obviously the lower your stop loss risk and things like that is. And remember, try and look for a candle close here if you can. And just notable, though, they wicked us here that last time. There was some kind of capitulation there. So watch out for some kind of sneaky move like that. But I am looking for something here on NEAR, and we're looking for some action. Let's see. CryptoPunk says, I got burned by leverage, calmly just going to add spot until the bull strength returns. That is a smart play. Again, remember, guys, these, you know, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and you can build your positions up slowly. There's no urgency. There's no rush. And what I'm giving you here is potential areas, potential hot zones, potential weekly zones where we can get reversals. But again, you can start small. When you're making some profits, then you can use leverage if you want to, and or you can also add to some of your positions and those type of things. So just play it safe. And again, as always, we're playing good areas here, but practice good risk management. Understand where are your exit zones. Understand why are you long in an area. Are there enough reasons to be long in an area? And you can see for me, I've given you about 6 reasons why I think this NEAR is a solid buy zone for me for potential long. And if I don't try this area here, I'm going to kick myself if there is a bit of a bounce. So I've given NEAR a bit of a spin here. Let's see. Yana says buy when others are fearful. And look, guys, you often find it. You know, most fear is kicking in when we are at these major weekly levels, and we've seen this story many times. And the pictures are there. The signs are there that at some point we're going to get some kind of vicious bounce here. And you know, I want to just make sure I am part of that. When it happens. Okay, this is a trade I've now taken on Zoomex. So here's Phantom on the daily, and this is finally moving into an area of interest for me, and an area where we could get some kind of bounce. So again, multiple reasons pointing in the direction of a potential move higher and things like that. But number one that I'm really loving, obviously, is the major 618 pool. So this is the strongest fib pool that you can get. This is a weekly fib pool here, and we have now settled down onto the 618 for the second time here, and this is tying into previous areas where we've bounced. You can see we've had big bounces here on the daily previously, and now what else do I have as well? I've also got a trend in play, and then I've got multiple reasons telling us why we could see some alt strength over the next week or two, and maybe Phantom is going to be a potential play for me. So Phantom, I'm watching closely here. This is Phantom on the weekly, on the daily, and if you take a look on the weekly, you can see it's also just as interesting. And let's just zoom in here. Let's just get our zoom in, and you can see we've got a strong weekly level here. And look how many touches we've got here. We've got 3 candles there. We've got 4 over here, 5, 6. And this is telling us 7th bounce, lucky maybe. And we're going to get a bounce here on Phantom. So I've also got that trend back up. And you can see our weekly stock heavily oversold as well. And maybe we're going to get some kind of turn up. So I have had a tentative go here on Zoomex here with Phantom. And I've started a small position. So my intention here is obviously to buy into weakness into this area. This could be a another 5% dip here on Phantom, still into that zone. Remember, we're trying to play the bigger picture move here. I'm trying to play this weekly chart here down into this trend. So sometimes you need to take a bit of time when you're building a position. So maybe we're going to get a little bit more weakness on Phantom here, and we can buy it a little bit deeper into that box. So this is my current situation on Zoomex, and I've opened my starter position here. I'm going to be adding if we do go lower down, and it's pretty simple here. And those of you looking for stop loss areas, for me, it would be if we get a candle close under 0.546. If we get a candle close under 0.546, that could be an area then that could tell us, okay, maybe we are now turning a bit more bearish. Maybe we are going deeper. And maybe we're going darker. So right now, Zoomex is in play. If you want to trade this with me on Zoomex, there is no KYC. Okay, there's also a 20% sign-up bonus for you if you want to sign up today and jump in. Use the link in your description. 20% on what you put in, they're going to give back to you, and you can trade that with. And then I discovered this today, and I thought, let me share this with you, Ray. You got to see this, right? This is it's like playing the slot machines at the casino. So basically, what's happening here is you buying a ticket to confirm your ticket to the moon. Okay, so I've got a $5 ticket here, so you can see my little ticket box. $5 ticket. I'm going to say confirm my ticket to the moon before this game timer goes down. Here we go. My ticket to the moon is confirmed. Let's see when we take off. And now I can cash out and whenever I want. And if I get greedy, I'm going to lose my money. So I'm going to cash out there, cash out. Okay, so I cashed out 7.6. Okay, and I put $5 in. So I just made $2.60, and now they're teasing me. Now they're just sending it on. Now I can't do anything. So let's wait till this one ends. Okay, bang. So I could have made 5 times whatever I put in there. Now let's give this one another go. I'm going to buy another $5 ticket to the moon. Let's go 7 seconds.
Oh, my God.
No, bro, this is proper. Watch.
This is for the degens.
But watch. What if this goes? What if we get a 10x here? Okay, check. You can even cash out half. Okay, check. I'm cashing out. See, I want another $2 there. Okay, now let's see.
Why did you cash out so early?
No, the next one we're gonna go big. You know what's gonna happen, bro? We're gonna go big here. They're gonna end me in one. Watch this. Okay, here we go.
We're gonna make it to 3 this time.
They're gonna liquidate me here. Okay, so my balance is here $50. Let's add.
The station's gonna go the opposite way.
Okay, I'm gonna stop when you say, Ray. Okay, let's wait. I'm gonna get my ticket up to $10 here. Hold on. Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna wait.
I'm calling this. Okay.
Well, I gotta hit my button
Right at 3.
Okay, I'm gonna confirm my ticket. Hold on. I'm now watching this other game go. Right,
I haven't
started yet, bro. It's only starting now. Watch. Okay, yeah, game on. Okay, it's starting in 9 seconds. Okay, there's my $10 ticket. Okay, when you tell me, we're done. You see, they ended me the minute I went bigger. I knew it. Okay, wait, one more try.
That's a scam. That's what you call a scam.
They ended me immediately there. Okay, let's go again. Okay, come on. I need 3x here. I need 3x. Come on, give me 3x.
Oh, no way.
Okay, guys, well, if you're interested, give it a go. I just discovered this today, and obviously it makes sense if you're playing with smaller amounts, but the greedier you get, the more it burns. So I think you can get away with little. It's
like the more money you add, the heavier the ship becomes.
No, but you can get away. Look, every time they give you like 1.3, 1.2. So I think there's a way you can make a bit of money out of this one. Anyway, let's not digress too much. If you want to try Zoomex, there's a link in the description. 20% sign-up bonus for you guys. You can play around with that one as well, and you can take this phantom trade with me. Let's see how that one is going to play out. Okay, now I've got updates for you guys on TON as well, and this has shown so much strength. It's been absolutely insane watching the market melt down. And TON holders, you guys are cooking. If you're sitting in TON, well played. Well played to you guys. And right now, TON is looking so good here. 7.5, that's got to be your area that you're watching. 7.5, that is zone number 1. 7.5 here, and a little bit lower down then for you, 6.88. Okay, 6.88, that's my higher conviction bounce zone for TON, and you can see why. I've got a nice big fib there. I've got horizontals, and I've got trend in play, and I've got the 50-day MA pushing a little bit higher. So that is my high conviction zone, 6.88. But right now, there is a level here, 7.5, that you can watch for TON, and certainly looking interesting. And let's not forget, resistance dog. I brought you guys this one at next to nothing market cap. This thing is at $120 million market cap now, and it's just broken all-time highs one more time, and that's directly linked to this TON strength that you can see playing out. So as long as TON is showing strength, I would expect the first dog on the TON network to carry on pushing higher. So right now we've broken all-time highs. What levels am I watching right now? For me, 1.12. That has got to be your support now for a red O dog and or resistance dog. And you're watching under this candle. So under this daily candle, 1.12, that's got to be your support. But you can see things are looking good. We've now broken all-time highs and definitely looking prime for bigger things here. As long as TON is going to hold, I'm expecting this dog to keep grinding higher. $120 million market cap. If TON's going to grow into what we think it's going to grow into, why wouldn't this thing go to 500? Why wouldn't it go as high as some of these other memes on some of the other chains? So interesting one to watch. And 1.12 is my level of support. Watch that one closely. And right, the next one we've got Injective. So those of you feeling the burn, I mean, I was so offended. I must tell you, I'm so offended by the Injective price action. It's actually been like, I nearly started crying the other day. They were bleeding me out. They were absolutely slapping me around. And I said to the researchers, give me something on Injective. Why is it so shit right now? And there's nothing shit about it at the moment. So here's Cosmos Airdrops. Daily volume on Injective is growing day by day. Okay, things are still looking good here on Injective. There's no sort of bearish things going down other than this disgusting price action. So what I want to give to you guys, if you are looking for relief out of Injective, you're wondering where's the pain going to stop? Well, the pain's going to end in two areas, I would assume, based on the chart that I've got in front of me. So area number one is right now. It's right here at 21.6. That is a 786 fib. It is some kind of horizontal support. It's not a high conviction zone, but it is a zone that tells us we might get some kind of bounce here. But then the next big one for me, it's got to be this lower band here, this lower region where we had our wick in April. That's a big mover there. 18.5, that is your big zone. So Injective, we might just be simply playing this range here. It could be a simple move like that. And this could be happening in the next 2 weeks on this ETH strength, moving into that ETH ETF. Are they timing this with these altcoins to perfection? Are we getting a bleed out just so they can grab all these alts and send us back up over the next 2 weeks and trade this ETH ETF situation? So Injective traders, 21.6, 18.5. These are your levels. These are your areas. I would expect by the time we get to 18.5, I can't see why we won't be having a bounce by then, even if it's a relief rally or something along those lines. If you are sitting in pain, these are your two areas, and I'm watching these closely because I'm sitting in some Injective pain. And then 𝗏𝗡𝗏 as well. So 𝗏𝗏 released their token, AO. Now there's two tokens for the chain, and the fundamental guys, you know, you guys will explain that better. But what I thought, for those of you that don't know what's going on, here's a video that you can watch. So AO, the AO computer, you can watch a little video here on the tokenomics and how this token works. But from what I understand, the market didn't like the AO tokenomics. They didn't like the AO token situation, and they decided to sell off 𝗏𝗏 and basically just slap everyone around. So 𝗏𝗏 has now dropped into a potential reaction zone, and the same way we're watching Injective, you can see it's uncanny how these things start teeing up very similarly to one another. And just like Injective is on a potential bounce zone, 𝗏𝗏 is sitting on a potential bounce zone right now. So 26.5. If they bleed out Injective further down, you're looking at lower levels there. If they bleed out 𝗏𝗏, we're looking at a similar move down. We're looking at 23 for 𝗏𝗏. This is our next big liquidity zone. This is our next horizontal area that I'm going to be watching. So right now, if we don't get this bounce here, 26 right here, 26.2, 26.3, anywhere in this region, we need to start looking lower. And that's got to be 23 for me, anywhere in that 23 region. And it should tie in with this RSI dipping really nice and deep and dark into those low 20s as well. So it could easily be something along these lines. And then that is going to be the move that we are looking for. So maybe a little capitulation move coming here for us from some of these altcoins. Could that be tied in with BTC pushing down to the 64.500? We're going to have to wait and see with that one. And then One more for you guys. Ondo, and couldn't ignore this RWA Kryptonite is Bogdan sweating. Bogdan, we want to know. Bogdan, if you're here in the chats, we want to know how your Rune trade is going. I know his liquidation level was very low, so I think he's actually okay with his Rune position there. And he's not Bogdan's not in Arweave anymore. Kryptonate. He is now sitting in Rune, and his liquidation is like 0.2 or something along those lines. Okay, here is Ondo RWA play. Is this a potential bounce zone coming now for Ondo? What you can do is watch this area. We got the 50-day moving average. I've got a 382, and I've got some horizontals in play here. Is this narrative going to start pumping when the market recovers? I would expect this narrative to start ripping as soon as the market turns bullish again. So levels that I'm personally watching now for Ondo, it's right here, anywhere in this region, anywhere in this area. So 1.06 down to 1.03, anywhere in that zone for me. Looks like a nice potential bounce zone. We could easily just get something like that before they push it higher. Alternatively, if they want to come for a second wick and really start punishing us for loving crypto so much, we're looking at the 100-day MA horizontals as well. That is going to be 0.9. So your next level, 0.9 on Ondo. These are two areas where I expect a reaction. You can see what's happened today. We've dipped in that region and we've sat around this area for most of the day now. Let's see if that is going to hold. Alternatively, 0.9. Those are your two banging zones. Those are your two areas. And I see Tobias is having lunch. Best part of the day for having lunch. Well, it's dinner time for me, guys. And I got to get out of here. You've got your levels. You know the drill now. You know the situation. Good luck. Key today, watch Bitcoin, watch dominance. That's going to be the banger. We know where these alts are. Most of your alts, they're sitting on key supports right now. Is there a potential bounce coming? If not, make sure you know your next level, one step down, tie that in with BTC and a little wick, and maybe we're going to get our bounce within the next 24 hours, maybe by Wednesday even. Guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one.